Hello and welcome to another edition of the Avid Screencast. My name is Christian Förster, and this week we'll create one of the most common fancy transition out there, the glow transition. This is what it looks like. Whoa! Makes sense in a flashback situation like this. The guy is sitting down and now thinking back to the situation with his girlfriend, for example. Okay. So let's start with the fresh sequence. We have our two shots. Now first of all, we'll use an effect from Boris Continuum Complete called Glow. And this is not actually a transition effect. So we'll have to apply two effects, one to the outgoing clip and one to the incoming clip, to make it look like a transition. In order to do that, we'll have to overlap the two clips. So let's move one of them to video track 2 and have them overlap. Say 30 frames. So I'll trim them 15 frames to each side and then create edit points in order to create segments that we can apply the effect to. So now let's go to Tools, Effect Palette, go to BCC Effects and apply BCC Glow to the upper track. You can see she starts to glow immediately. So let's go into Effect Editor. It opens the BCC Glow parameters. We need to create keyframes at the beginning and the end of the effect. And to make it all simpler, we'll add them to all parameters at the beginning or the end, even though we don't need all parameters. As you can see now, there's a steady glow applied to the effect. But as this is the incoming clip, we need to start with a strong glow and fade it out completely so that it ends with no glow at all. So let's start with the beginning. And the parameters we need to use here are glow intensity and glow threshold. You can play with the other parameters as well and achieve different results, but we'll stick with the glow intensity and glow threshold for now. So let's crank up the intensity at the beginning. As you can see, that is not enough. We want glow all over the image. So let's turn down the threshold until pretty much the whole image is white. And at the end, the intensity needs to go to 0. You can still turn down the threshold a little, but we wouldn't need to do that. Now we need to apply pretty much the same effect to the video track below, only with the effect reversed, right? So let's drag and drop the effect icon to the layer below, copies the effect to the layer below. Let's watch that layer as well. And as you can see, it works just the same way. But let's copy all the parameters from the first keyframe and paste them to the last keyframe. And of course, the first keyframe, the intensity has got to be 0. And the threshold should be more than 20, something like this. And I can see, yeah, it's starting to glow big time. Well, we can even crank down the threshold at the last frame, at the last keyframe. Something like this. There we go. We can see in the preview. Whoa! It's glowing strong. Okay, if we watch the effect in preview now, by scrubbing through the timeline, this is not what we want, right? It cuts to her deglowing instead of transitioning. Well, again, that is because the effects are not actually transition effects, but we can remedy this pretty easily. We want the shot of her in the cafe to fade in, right? So let's go to the first keyframe and turn the opacity of that layer, effect layer opacity, to 0. Do the same thing with the effect on track 1, just it's gonna end with an opacity of 0. So go to the last keyframe, turn the opacity down. Now all you have to do is render the upper track, maybe add a nice whoosh to it, and now let's watch. Very, very nice, I think. Nice glow transition, not that hard to do actually. Thank you for watching this episode of the Avid Screencast. If you like, go ahead and subscribe to the podcast at avidscreencast.com or on iTunes. On the website you can also watch past episodes, which you should do. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/avidscreencast, and on Facebook, facebook.com/avidscreencast. And if there's anything you want me to know, just use the Twitter or the Facebook page, or just drop me a line at mail@avidscreencast.com, or comment on the website, or use any of the channels that you have available, like birds or something, if you know where I live. If you'd like to know what kinds of things I do professionally, check out my website, editguy.de, where I rather unsuccessfully try to promote myself. Again, thanks for watching. See you next week. Goodbye.